February 22, 2026, 2 a.m. The mountains of Tapalpa, Mexico. A man lies awake in an opulent lodge in the pine forests, cut off from the outside world. Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes is his name, El Mencho. He is a ghost to the outside world. He is referred to by the DEA as the world's most powerful drug lord. They have been using satellites and drones to chase him for years, but he has always stayed one step ahead. Nightclubs and upscale dining establishments like El Chapo are unnecessary for him. The mountains are all he needs. As a king reigning from the shadows, he moves between safe places and speaks in whispers. But he made a mistake tonight. He settled in. A weekend with a lady he loved was the one indulgence he gave himself. The hunters were keeping an eye on her.
"5 a.m. The silence explodes. Mexican Special Forces abseil from helicopters under the direction of U.S. intelligence. Like a lightning, they struck the cabin. The daybreak is ripped apart by gunfire. El Mencho refuses to give up. He engages in combat. The battle reverberates through the canyons for 5 hours. However, there is nowhere to flee. When the weapons stop firing, El Mencho is hurt and lying on the ground. They hoist him onto a helicopter and take off toward Mexico City. They must keep him alive. However, another clock is ticking away deep within the mountains. El Mencho's heart stops as the helicopter slices through the skies. The ghost has vanished. However, his empire is only now beginning to awaken. The ledgers go dark. The news reaches the streets like a tidal wave as the sun rises over Mexico. El Mencho has passed away. However, you must comprehend the numbers in order to understand the subsequent explosion. What was the true value of this man? For years, the DEA has been monitoring his wealth. They put his personal worth at $500 million in 2019, although there were rumors that it was probably more than $1 billion. However, that was merely his pocket money. The Jalisco cartel, the machine he created, was his true power. The cartel's total assets were estimated by the Mexican government to be an astounding $50 billion. Consider that figure. 11 a.m. The portfolio awakens. It was more than simply meth and cocaine. El Mencho established a global company. He didn't keep his cash in a vault like Scrooge McDuck. He was more intelligent than that. He made money with raw fish by running a chain of more than 100 upscale sushi eateries in Guadalajara. He was the owner of the Hotelito Desconocido, a 5-star eco-resort with thatched roof bungalows that once entertained celebrities. He operated construction companies, avocado packing operations, and even a tequila company that was attempting to export to the United States. His family purchased an opulent mansion in Riverside, California, and remained undetected until the DEA raided it and discovered diamond watches and $2 million in cash hidden in the closets. His dominion was like a hydra, with new legitimate heads appearing all over the place. He was valuable. 12 p.m. The monster reacts. The cartel doesn't grieve as soon as the news is verified.
It launches an assault. The money is what matters to them, not the man. Everyone is battling to keep their piece of the trillion-dollar pie after the CEO passed away. The order is sent out, set it all on fire. More than 250 barriers appear in 20 states in a matter of hours. On highways, gunmen set fire to semi-trucks, causing them to catch fire. The streets of Guadalajara, Mexico's second biggest city, fall silent. While cartel gunmen prowl the streets outside, 1,000 tourists are stranded inside the zoo and sleeping on buses. There are canceled flights. Schools are not in session. All Americans are advised by the U.S. Embassy to shelter in place.
4 p.m. The blood price. The number of fatalities rises. At least 73 individuals have died by dusk. 25 police officers and soldiers were slain in well-planned ambushes. 30 cartel gunmen were killed in nationwide gunfights. Cartel snipers fire at a petrol station in one village, only to watch it burn. The message sent by the violence is that although you killed the monarch, the kingdom retaliates. It is the most brutal aftermath of any cartel hit in Mexican history, according to analysts.
February 23, 2026. The question remains. El Mencho's body, identified by his fingerprints, rests on a steel table in a mortuary in Mexico City. His billions are currently in limbo. Some will be taken into custody. There will be fights over some. Some will disappear into the sham corporations and cryptocurrency wallets his accountants put up years ago. His son is incarcerated in the United States. His daughter is incarcerated. No heir exists. His cartel, a device that distributes meth and fentanyl throughout all 50 states in the United States, is now a ship without a captain. February 24, 2026, 3 a.m. The mountain cabin is ash. A completely other conflict starts in the shadows as everyone else watches the mayhem on television. In a bunker under an abandoned warehouse in Zapopan, El Mencho's inner circle, 4 guys in charge of the ports, the tunnels, the chemistry labs, and the money, convene. They don't cry for their employer. They gaze at one laptop, the encrypted ledger of El Mencho's dominion. The key to everything is on it. The avocado farms, the sushi eateries, the money launderers in Dubai, the online fentanyl pill presses in China. Assets worth $50 billion are currently for sale. L85, the oldest man, grabs the laptop. Before his fingers reach the keyboard, L-K9, a younger lieutenant, shoots him in the face.
5:30 a.m. The first collapse. Compared to the struggle against the government, the internal conflict is quicker and more violent. The cartel atomizes rather than simply breaking apart. A port operator in Veracruz who manages the flow of Colombian cocaine proclaims independence. Meth lab owners in Tijuana won't ship their goods to the new owners. Under new brand names, they begin selling directly to Americans online. The most potent criminal group in the Western Hemisphere, the CJNG, dissolves as a single entity in less than 48 hours. Dozens of irate, armed startups compete for market share. March 1, 2026, the border feels the heat. A 19-year-old college student in San Diego purchases what she believes to be a Percocet from a buddy. It was made in a jungle lab that used to answer to El Mencho, and it is pure fentanyl. That lab now reports to itself. To finance their battle against El Canine, they must move merchandise quickly. The quality varies. The dosage is fatal. The girl is dead in her dorm room by midnight. Her dad works for the U.S. Border Patrol. His daughter is the first American casualty in the post-Mencho war, but he is unaware of this yet. The cartels are no longer merely at odds with one another. In order to raise money for bullets, they are dumping supplies and flooding the United States with inventories.
March 15, 2026. The search for the trillions. The true quest starts while the street conflict rages. A special team from the U.S. Treasury travels to Mexico City. They are not searching for narcotics or firearms. They work as forensic accountants. The money is what they desire. El Mencho has a personal net worth of more than $1 billion. 50 times that was the cartel's value. However, where is it? In the Caymans, they track down shell corporations. They monitor Texas real estate purchases made through frontmen. In Andorra, they discover a cryptocurrency wallet with $400 million in Bitcoin. The wallet is locked though. El Mencho perished along with the password. The money is a digital ghost that haunts the internet. It is frozen and unreachable. April 1, 2026. The new bosses. The internal conflict is won by LK9. At 34, he is a young man. He has no desire for cottages or mountains. The metaverse is what he desires. Using encrypted communications applications and Starlink internet, he establishes his command center in a Guadalajara high-rise. He never comes into contact with a firearm. He doesn't ever see drugs. All he does is oversee supply chains. Mencho built an empire of concrete, he informs his lieutenants. We're going to create a code empire. It is impossible to see the new cartel. TikTok is where the merchandise is sold. NFT art is used to launder the money. Although El Mencho is no longer among us, his business strategy has changed.
April 15, 2026. The accounting is finished. The initial report is released by the Mexico City forensic team. They have monitored assets directly associated with El Mencho and his immediate entourage, totaling about $8 billion. $2.3 billion has been seized thus far. The remainder is either burned during the conflict, concealed, or laundered. A terrifying footnote at the end of the paper states that El Mencho made more money throughout his lifetime than the GDP of 20 small countries put together. Over 150,000 individuals were either directly or indirectly employed by him. He ruined a great number of lives. Additionally, younger, sharper, more dangerous men who learned everything from him are currently filling the void left by his demise. May 5th, 2026, Mexico City, 9 p.m. A black SUV arrives into the U.S. Embassy's restricted compound. A man in his early 30s, dressed in a fitted suit, is inside. Ricardo Sanchez is his name. He presents himself to the world as a prosperous Monterrey venture investor. He is El Canine's money launderer, according to the DEA. He is not here to give up. His purpose is to bargain.
the U.S. government has blocked access to $400 million in cryptocurrency. LK9 demands a deal, his family's immunity in exchange for the wallet's password. He is staring at the DEA agent across the table. "You poisoned our kids," she declares. Ricardo grinned. "Mencho belonged to that generation. We now sell vitamins, tequila too, legally. All we want is our money returned."
June 1, 2026. The landscape shifts. The agreement is not fulfilled. However, the dialogue exposes the reality. LK9 has had enough of fentanyl. The danger is too great. It's too hot. For 10 years, he has observed Mencho being pursued by the DEA. That's not the life he wants. His goal is to legitimize the $50 billion enterprise. It's through technology, not sushi restaurants. He begins providing funds to Guadalajara app developers. He purchases a German electric vehicle battery company that is having financial difficulties. He makes investments in a Texas dental clinic franchise. The money moves smoothly. He can deny it through subcontractors, but the pills still exist. El Mencho established a cartel. LK9 is constructing a conglomerate. July 4, 2026. A tip changes everything. An FBI agent receives an anonymous email. There is only one picture in it. The image depicts a man hooked up to an IV on a hospital bed. There are several bandages on the man's face. However, it is impossible to miss the tattoos on his hands, El Mencho's distinctive skull and snake. He didn't die in the helicopter, the email states. It was a double. He is in an Awaka private clinic, terminal cancer. He has 3 months left. He's eager to speak. The FBI is unsure about its veracity. However, they must verify. A group is put together. Everything they've told the world is false if El Mencho is still alive.
July 5th, 2026, 3 a.m. A hillside clinic. The clinic has a spa-like appearance, palm trees, white walls, and a mountain outlook. 2 men who never blink watch over room 7 within. Silently, the Mexican Marines encircle the structure. At 3:15 a.m., they breach. Without a shot, the guards are overwhelmed and stunned. Room 7's door opens. A weak man sits up in bed inside. He is almost identifiable, skinny and bald from chemotherapy. However, his eyes remain the same, chilly, doing calculations. El Mencho holds out his hand. He doesn't say anything. He merely gestures toward a chair. The lead agent takes a seat. "You're supposed to be dead," he remarks. El Mencho lets out a rattling, dry laugh. "I know," he murmurs. "I wanted to see who would come." July 5th, 2026, 4 a.m. The negotiation begins. El Mencho is running out of time. He is being consumed by the cancer from the inside out. He offers water to the agents. They decline. He grinned. "I have something you want," he offers. "Not only the cash, the passageways, the judges, the 4 governments' protection networks. I am able to provide you with the complete system.
My family walks in return. In a nation where nobody knows their names, my grandkids lead ordinary lives. The agents don't say anything. The greatest intelligence treasure in history is this. Can they, however, put their trust in a guy who used deceit to build his empire? The Mencho is able to read their minds. "I'm dying," he declares. "Lying takes energy I don't have."
July 5, 2026, 5:30 a.m. The confession begins. Mencho speaks for the next 3 hours. He discloses the locations of 7 secret tunnels beneath the border with Arizona. He divulges the identities of 3 current Mexican governors who are employed by him. He offers bank account numbers for more than $900 million in Singapore, Switzerland, and Luxembourg. In order to deflect attention from the actual operation, he describes how his son was put up to take the blame. Every word is recorded by the agents. Their hands tremble. This is more significant than bin Laden. The architect himself has exposed the entire drug war's design. July 5, 2026, 8:47 a.m. The room goes quiet. Mencho ends his speech. He gazes out the window at the mountains he used to control. "You know," he murmurs, "I began peddling pens on street corners. All I wanted to do was eat." He shuts his eyes. The cardiac monitor next to his bed starts to slow down. A doctor is summoned by the agents. Mencho, however, raises a feeble hand. "No," he murmurs, "let me go on my terms." At 8:52 a.m., the monitor flatlines. After selling up his whole business for a promise to his grandkids, the most wanted man in America passes away in a clean bed, surrounded by his adversaries.
August 1st, 2026. The world changes. The agreement is upheld. The family of Mencho disappears into witness protection. Under false names, his grandchildren go to school in a peaceful American suburb. Nobody will ever be able to identify them. The biggest coordinated drug war operation in history is initiated by the information obtained from his confession. 387 people are detained in 4 different nations in a 72-hour period. Assets worth $3 billion are confiscated. There are 7 collapsed tunnels. 2 governors step down and leave the nation. Already shattered, the Jalisco cartel is essentially destroyed. September 15, 2026. The accounting is complete. The U.S. Treasury releases the final total. Mencho's organizations brought in an estimated $78 billion over his lifetime. $12 billion of it has been frozen or seized. The remainder is dispersed over the world, concealed in shell corporations, cryptocurrency, real estate, and art. According to some estimations, $40 billion is still missing and waiting to be retrieved by the person who can figure out the codes. Mencho went to his grave. October 1, 2026. A classroom in Ohio. In history class, a teenage girl sits. On the board, the instructor writes, "The war on drugs, 1971 to present. The girl puts up her hand. She queries, "Did they ever catch El Mencho?" The instructor pauses. "He died," he declares. "However, his funds are still available, financing elections, purchasing structures, laundering through businesses you often deal with. The man was apprehended. They won't be able to get all the money." The girl nods, not quite getting it. A black SUV with tinted windows passes the school gently outside the window. An elderly grandmother observes the kids playing inside. She has on a plain gold necklace with a tiny pendant of a snake. She grinned. Her grandchildren are secure.